Isn't that where the light always comes from? Through the clouds? Let's go. Boom, baby. Boom. Rise and shine. We got people moving out this morning. Marijuana motivation time. I didn't hear it. Let's get it. Let's. That's right. And then as there more people go by, I'm going to talk more on my live about just how important it is to know about just how important it is to know how addicted you can be to more than drugs, but to feelings. And that's been an eye opener experience of my life. It was just like I thought for real though that I had a good control over my life and my own self-discipline and my own character till I was faced with an opportunity to be addicted to a feeling. That's right. I was addicted to my anger, right? Like I can be real about it. I was like felt justified to be angry, right? Because you did something wrong by me, or I was so faithful to you, and damn it, you owe me, and damn, the beard all over the place. And then, you know, I'm mad because you didn't love me the same as I loved you. Bro, my self control was so low. And you might even say that your self esteem was low too. But a lot of people say that, especially with narcissism. It's like if my energy's so low that I can't even love myself, I can't pull myself up from the depression, from what's not working, right? Um, and actually enjoy myself in my life. It seemed to be a bit more of a challenge. Ooh, there's a little seed in there, egg seed. You know what it is. And this all happened in a conversation I had last night. One of my good friends, Lily, and she was going through it, and I was explaining to her that she's not alone. You know that it sucks to walk through life and you want to be loved and have that kind of love. You know, the addictive kind of love. And we talked about it when I was first dating Sarah. Was when she we are sitting there and the guy's like, is it better to be addicted to love than it is to be addicted to a drug? And I mean, this is a good argument point. I mean, I would love to have this argument with anyone. Unfortunately, it's not what's real, right? It's like, again, anger, love, feelings are a different type of drug. Okay, they're there, but the substances come from within, and the similar to sponsored by Futurola Tyson wraps. If you guys need any paper wraps, the only ones in Southeast Asia and all of Europe. Boom, baby, boom. I'm gonna roll a joint. Let's go. Got some outdoor going through it this morning. Joint weed club. So, whew, come on, burps. All fresh water in the morning, y'all. I keep telling you, one of my favorite things to do. So let's see. Can you hear me? Can you feel me? We're gonna be all right as long as we're connected. We're gonna do this. Okay. So, one of the biggest things. Come on, don't be like that. Come on, don't be like that. I wish it was more gentle and I could talk all things like that. Like, don't be like that. Oh, come on, don't be angry. Oh, come on, love and loss. You could just be all right with things. Instead, with me and maybe my Leo friend when we were talking about it, is the intensity, bro. The intensity of the way that we love to feel and love. The intensity. Here we go. We're live off the 95 and trying to figure it out all the time. This is live, right? So glad I got the fan on me. I keep that thing on me. It is baffling to me that she was going through the same things. That she had a relationship where the individual obviously didn't care that much about her well-being, and obviously because of her ego, she was bonded to this person. I'm learning about myself too as a Taurus male, the dark triads and my traits of wanting something beautiful and wanting to own something beautiful like a Ferrari, a woman, or praise, some kind of accomplishment. And I went through this, or I'm still learning how to go through it. Let's see. I need the grinder real quick to learn more about myself, right? I mean, everybody needs to do some explanations and self-explanatory, or get some kind of definition of why they are the way that they are. And what was sad about our situation and what we were talking about is that now you walk around, and it's sad because like here you are in paradise, walking around paradise, and depressed in paradise. I mean, I could have called it that, but I'm not depressed. But there's some real people out there that are truly depressed. Like, I don't hold depression lightly, so I don't mock it, and it's not like something you can just throw around and be like, oh, you're depressed. You know what I mean? No, it's not fun to be depressed. It's not fun to have this certain type of love. Like she was sick, you know, all those things were pretty on the outside, but or what was dirty on the inside was, you know, the dirty dick, you know, sharing a dirty dick and going from girl to girl to girl, never making her feel important, always fucking with her mental, so she slowly got beat down to a pulp. And it's not like I think that even me as an former abuser, because I don't abuse people anymore, to sit there and say like, you know, yeah, you feel bad, but it's not enough for you to feel bad. You need to feel humbled. You need to be on your knees about it. You need to be fucking bent over and grabbing your ankles. You need to learn your lesson. And because life was hard on me about lessons, right? I felt that it should be hard on other people. Like, you know, life's not gentle, so I'm not gentle. You can't expect it from me. I'm not that way. And just because I'm not that way doesn't mean I didn't want to feel that way either. I wanted someone else to treat me with compassion and knit gloves, even though I was like ruthless. And I'm just talking about my dark triads. I'll play it on the video and stuff like this, and also talk about toxic relationships. But the thing that shocked me the most of our conversation is that we were both hooked on, we've both done drugs, but we've also been addicted to love. And we'll go around looking for the beauty of these people, not the actual way that they treat us. And as long as we look good on the outside, then it should fit good on the inside. And I think that's the lie of even like the makeup industry or anybody else that can tell you that how hard it is to be pleased and happy and truly satisfied in things gives you attitude of gratitude or exercise or some of the healthy alternatives than, you know, some drugs or what we perceive. Come on, papers. Whoa. Got it. Come on. The fan. Got the fan on me. I keep that thing on me. And so part of it was like, why are we attracted to these people? You know, is it the loss of our fathers and having daddy issues and never having someone leave is a good example of what real love looks like? Or like she was raised with her mom and aunt, being in the sex worker industry and all they kept saying is make sure a man takes care of you, takes care of the bills and has money, but they never talked anything about emotional support. And it's all fun and games when you're a fucking rock star and you're sexy and you live in Vegas and people are banging you or you're banging them and things are all fun and games till your daddy doesn't call you or your mom judges you or your reaction speed seems to be too angry. These things leak out in us, bro. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just my last relationship. It wasn't just this girl. It wasn't just Lily. You know, it was all of us. And I was in it with her. I was telling her, I'm like, yeah, me too, dude. Why am I dating these toxic women? Why are my not psychiatrists, but my friend's a what do you call it? Tarot card reader. She's one of those kind of people. I don't even know what you want to call it, but she's one of those type of people. And she's like, Mark, I'm seeing a pattern. You know, I love my girl. You know, shout out to Audrey. She's awesome. Good people. A pattern of these broken women. It wasn't just not only two Aquariuses that were narcissistic, but it was like, why am I dating the crazy bitches? Why is it my turn to step up and be like, what, you're crazy? Let me sign up. Where's the crazy train entrance? I can't wait to buy all your tickets. You know, I'm like, that guy. I can fix you, right? I can fix my parents' broken relationship. I can fix my mom. I can fix everything. And all things through Christ comes through me. Shaking my head, dog. Shaking my head. So my wing woman here, who's doing excellent on YouTube, calling me out on my shit. And your wing woman, if you ever get a chance, she's awesome.
Do you keep attracting messed up, damaged women? If you do, this video is definitely for you. Psychologists have found that your mother may be still influencing your dating life.
How embarrassing. I'm trying to date my mom.
So, a while back when I was still doing one-on-one coaching, I had a client, we'll call him Smith. Smith had a terrible relationship with his mother. When he was young, she would just constantly criticize him, and nothing he ever did was good enough. Even if he got an A, he didn't even get praise.
You gotta be
now, he's in his 30s, and he thought that maybe something would change, but he's still not getting along with his mom. They used to speak on the phone every week, but then she got a new boyfriend and her calls got fewer and farther between. Sure. Essentially, she was using him for company and attention until she found it elsewhere. Right. Does this sound familiar? If it does, not alone, because Smith found that he was having the same kinds of relationships with the women he would get involved with.
Now, has that ever happened to you too, where you find that you are in favor or out of favor with someone else? I kind of thought that this one seemed almost normal to me in my own psychopathy, or the way I was raised was just like, yeah, of course, you're in front of me, you get all the attention. I'm giving you the attention because you're in front of me. And what I didn't realize is, like, the next person gets the attention because you're not giving that to them. You're going to go homie hop to someone else and be like, yo, let me give this other person the attention because you're not in front of me. How can I pay attention to something that's not in front of me? Maybe I'm so used to it, I didn't even see it. People playing favorites, that I was getting preferential treatment, and that I would expect it from other women. That shocked me. You know what I mean? That I was like, well, you don't love me because my mom loves me on this level. You know, you got to call me every day. You got to tell me that I'm handsome. You got to give me gifts. Even though I'm still kind of mean to my mom in a reverse abuse situation, it's like another extension of the relationship. She has to say the word Mark because that's my dad's name. And when she speaks about me, she also mentions him.
Every woman he dated would boss him around and moan and complain. They'd nag him, and they'd never show consideration for his feelings. He could never make any woman happy, and the worst part, he thought it was his fault.
Oh, man.
So he beat himself down, thinking that he was never going to be good enough for any woman. But when we analyzed his situation with his mom and his childhood with his mom, he soon realized what was happening. He was attracting women who were just like his mother. This is all too common. We tend to be attracted to that which feels familiar. And usually we're attracted to the parent or caregiver we had as a child that we needed love from or care and attention from, but lacked it from. Now, this may sound a little weird to some people, but it actually makes perfect sense, because our relationship with our parents or our primary caregivers when we were young are our example of what a relationship is supposed to be, and with our parents or caregivers. So if you're used to being criticized or mistreated, or to putting other people's needs above your own, and made to feel like you were never good enough, then to you, this is normal. This feels familiar.
And that's scary territory.
This is why. If you had a mother who was like this, then on a subconscious level, that's what you're attracted to, because it's what you think you deserve.
Addicted
our parents,
to love.
Our primary caregivers are the people who teach us what love is. But if they don't know how to express love in a truly loving way, then our wires get mixed up. And then we get caught in the cycle looking for love in all the wrong places.
Right, and for saying this, it goes to the point of where you, I might even do it too, perpetuate it. It was just like, you should be so lucky someone's being critical of you. You should be so lucky that anybody's paying attention to you. And sure, they're being narcissistic, and sure, they're being judgy, and sure, they're picking you apart, but at least they're paying attention to you. At least you have their attention. And it is sad what we'll do for attention. We'll get on a stripper pole, we'll do sex work, we'll do anything with our daddy issues, mommy issues, just so we can feel that normalcy. I know it sounds crazy, but that normalcy is what we're seeking. And like the familiar, like she said, is like, oh man, I can't wait for that feeling again, because it reminds me of grandma's cookies. And what's really sad is grandma was critical about her cookies. Okay, you know what I mean? Like grandma was, even my grandma is still very gossipy at church. You know, she goes to church, but she's gossiping in church. Not very church-like. Let's go.
But you can get out of it. You can rewire your brain to find a good woman for you. No one's perfect. We all have flaws. We all have character flaws. But there's going to be someone who has the righter flaws for you, who will actually still treat you with love, kindness, respect, and the attention you truly deserve.
And that's why I was bumping my head. I was like, look, man, I'm used to this amount of attention. I was doted over. I'm called handsome even by my aunties. If I don't get this level, then I might not be loved. And maybe that's an entitlement or a shortcoming in my own life. But that's how we learn love. You're going to learn it from those primary caregivers. They're going to teach you if you're lovable or not. And that's what we're always going to do. We're only going to find out when we test the relationships a little bit. You know what I mean? It's only when you get a chance to have someone's attention or they withdraw it from you will you know what your attachment style is like. It's literally OJT, on-job training. You're only going to know once you're experiencing it. And that's what was so sad to do with the other homegirl was like, she can't experience, you're not like him. You know, you're not tall like him, but he's also not abusive like him. So we'll do the external, like, oh, you're 6'5", and you know, you got a big dick, but at the same time, you're abusive to me. You're fucking up my mental health, and you're giving me STDs. You know, nothing better than sleeping with a beautiful woman till your dick burns when you pee. All right. So it's like, all things considered, you know, probably should have wore a condom.
Being you, someone who will think you are good enough and who will praise, support, and encourage you instead of always beating you down.
But I loved him, Mark. Started beating him down. Yeah, I hate that beat down shit. Just always riding me. It's like, dude, are you ever happy? You know, can you never get yourself happy? And since you can't get yourself happy, you got to tear down my happy. Why don't you come up instead of me having to come down in the elevator? It was a real question. But yeah, she went and took that ST test. And she showed him his results because she was being faithful to him because she loved him. And they even fucked without a condom after getting the results. And guess who didn't show his results?
To make them feel better. So I invite you to start thinking about the women you've been attracted to in the past and how they are alike to your mother, maybe it was your father, to
your primary caregiver. Whoever you fuck taught you how to love is how you're wired. And this is a fucking big oh shit. My dad's addicted to sex, alcohol, and what else did he would say? Workaholic, alcoholic, fuckaholic. All these obsessive things were to just give him the same type of hit. So it's just like, okay, and this is not even just on my mom too. This is from my dad, 2 Scorpios, and Lord knows my dark triads are going to come out in the end of this video too. I'm going to talk about Taurus dark triads because we're the opposite of Scorpio, and we inhibit those behaviors too. Like we're like, can't wait to be a backstabby bitch, and it just sucks to admit it, but it's true. And it's just like every one of us has dark triads. So don't even try to be like, oh, Saint's like the only one. No, dog. This is the show. This is me and my friend spending an hour and a half on the phone yesterday talking about how you can be in Portugal or be in Thailand and be depressed on vacation. And how dare I touch my heart, how dare I, knowing that I'm not in jail anymore. And I try to say, Mark, you're on an island. What the fuck? And my friend's like, bro, you're in paradise. Regardless if you got the girl or not, you are in paradise. You should be fucking happy as a pig and shit. And yet some of these things will follow us. Like she was getting catcalled while we were on the phone twice, actually. She's a beautiful girl, but it made her angry. So why does it make me angry? I was like, this is really good reflection time because it's not him. But if you get any sort of doting attention, just a little fucking piece from somebody that you assume to be your caregiver, right? You'll be on your hands and knees begging for it, and you'll just be so susceptible to having daddy issues or mommy issues. There's no time for a mommy issue shirt. Fuck. And I still argue with my mom. I love this woman dearly. We are so close to each other, but man, are we not the opposites of the zodiac? She's a Scorpio, and I'm a Taurus bull, and sometimes we just don't get along. Now, mind you, it's my birthday's in 3 days, and if she don't call me, I'm gonna be a bad Taurus bull and be like, Mommy, you didn't call me. No, I'm gonna be like, I don't need my mom to call me every birthday, but it is nice to have my mom alive on my birthday and reflect that situation, because she's not always going to be there for the Christmases and she's not always going to be there for the birthdays, and I'm just grateful that she is now.
Primary caregiver or parent you had as a child who you felt lack from, and if your father wasn't there at all, if you're going for women who treat you poorly, maybe you didn't have a very good relationship with your mom and she treated you poorly.
Right.
So the first step to change is awareness. So I invite you to evaluate some of the qualities of the women you've gone for in the past and make a determination. You are going to watch for those red flags in the future because you do deserve better. And if you want help to figure out what those traits are that you're definitely going to avoid, that you tend to keep going for, then I invite you to check out. If you're up for that, ready for a challenge, nothing changes if nothing changes, might as well check it out. Thanks for being here. God bless.
Stop, bitch. Stop it. Let's go into these toxic relationships. And then I'm going to go into my toxic side, my dark side. It's because this is real. And if I can't have awareness to own self be true, if you can't talk to yourself and go, what the fuck were you doing? You'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds like me. And if the shoe fits, what do they say? If the shoe fits, you ought to wear it. Well, did this thing just go back offline? Internet. Hey, I'm all the way in Thailand. I'm glad I got it. I try to appreciate my my complaints. So what I mean by that is I show some appreciation and gratitude after I complain, like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm still alive, or stop bitching and moaning. At least you're moaning, yawning. At least you're still alive. At least you're still awake this morning. This kind of projection, I'm projecting I'll be alive for my birthday. My friend said his 99-year-old grandma didn't make it. You think you're guaranteed, but the day before your 100th birthday, whoo, nothing is promised. So I live the days because I want to have epic days, but also I know the impermanence of days and that this is another opportunity for me to learn. And that's why I do every morning. I'm just continually learning, figuring it out. My own toxic traits, the way I fucking deal with shit, and calling myself out because I was like, come on, Saint, man, we can get
many toxic partners cannot control their emotions.
So tight. That was me too. That was a motherfucker, but let's go. 7 signs you're in a toxic relationship. Marquis Saint, let's go. Come on. Come on. Look at them all pissed off. Where's this being a little bit back online? Okay, cool. We're back online. Let's go. Gone back online. I was so grateful for my conversation with my friend Lily last night. You know, speaking the truth to the young black youth.
Toxic partners cannot control their emotions.
Hold tight, come on. 7 signs you're in a toxic relationship. Come on, give me my signal. Let me see.
Many toxic partners cannot control.
Here we go. Top thing, baby. Get the screenshot.
Hey, everyone.
What the fuck? That's not what I wanted. Google ads. Come on. Hey, everyone. Come on. I was just doing this.
And welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about 7 signs you're in a toxic relationship.
Toxic.
Now, let's begin. Number 1, failing responsibility. Toxic people rarely understand their own toxicity. They fail to take responsibility for their mistakes, and they often pass the blame to their innocent partners. When a toxic person shrugs responsibility, it's a sign of defensive behavior. They don't want to acknowledge their flaws, so they act like a victim in their relationships.
It makes you be the hero, right? It's weird to be a victim hero or hero victim or not be a bad guy, but if your ego is fragile, you don't have conversations with yourself, they will be exposed. My ego chasing me, beautiful women, they gotta be beautiful. What about the insides, bro? Okay. How about, well, you did this to me. Well, what about what I did to you? Um, um, uh, um, and this is hard to do because you gotta have a lot of self-awareness. But what was keen on me was I was just like I couldn't wait to be someone's psychologist. I couldn't wait to be the savior. I always want to feel wanted or Captain Save a Ho or save my mom, hypothetically. And I keep saying that. I keep saying this story, but it's so true. After your boy, Tito Ortiz was seeing a psychologist, and all that success, all that money, and his mind still wasn't right because he's dating porn stars or marrying them, and because he thinks he can fix that woman. And that woman was one of the top porn starlets of all time. Not Jessie Jane, she just died. Rest in peace. That sucks. With her boyfriend overdose. Was Jenna Jameson. Yep. And trying to save somebody that is a stone cold addict isn't going to save his mother. And in a roundabout way, there we are again, trying to find a father figure like she was, trying to love somebody that's supposed to be strong and safe in their arms, but at the same time, these people are destroying their mental health. Thank you for the toxic sound, because that's that vibration. That's that vibration that is fucking up your whole life, and you're not even paying attention to it, and that sucks. So there's a rapid accountability, radical accountability to just be like, is also me, and with me, it's like I can be controlling, right? I want my possessions, and you'll see this in my dark triads too, with Taurus, and maybe I'll just wait till we get to that part.
And you're the source of their problems, and that way they can justify their own toxic patterns. If you let a toxic person blame you for their problems, their toxicity will destroy your self-esteem. No matter how many times someone says it, their toxicity is not your fault. Unless your partner is willing to take responsibility for their mistakes and make real changes in their life, you are in a toxic relationship, and it may be time to let go.
Time to let go.
Number 2, absence of support. In a healthy relationship, partners want to see each other succeed. They encourage each other to pursue their dreams and goals. They support each other when trying new things, and they pick each other when they make mistakes. In other words, if you and your partner have a strong, loving bond, you want your partner to grow, improve, and succeed. But in toxic relationships, each other's goals, nor do they encourage each other to try new things. In really toxic relationships, one partner may even sabotage the other partner's success.
It happens.
So if you want to know whether your relationship is toxic,
I'd rather lose than to watch you win. What? Instantly competitive. I know I'm competitive. Second place is the first loser. How dirty does it have to get around here, man? It's mucky. What do they say? Drain the swamps. There's a swamp inside you. And high time you drain the swamp. Frogs, toads, crawdads, crawfish, insects, birds, fish, you name it, the whole environment of the clutter we throw at ourselves, the stuff that's in that dirty little pond of ours. And nobody wants to admit it, all right? Nobody wants to be having snot come out their nose on lives. Nobody wants to. That's why I called it Saints Addiction. I had to be honest about my flaws up front. Honestly flawed. And how hard that is to admit. Mostly saints. It's not all the way, bro. I wish I never put my hands on women. I wish my father never put hands on my mom. Fuck, that sucks. And swore to myself I would never do things like that. And then all of a sudden, when I'm in a protection mechanism and I have to protect myself, especially when they're firing at me, you're doing all these things. Well, so are you. And sometimes you can't even just sit there and take it on the chin. It's too fragile for your ego. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow. And the truth pill is really always a jagged little pill. And that's why you're draining your swamp. Because to get to the truth, what's underneath this water, this mucky-ass, muddy-ass water that you can't see through, those years back in the days, those traumas, those experiences that you formulated a self-defense mechanism for. You set up a scenario where if this happens, I'll act this way. and this is the only way I can be safe. And usually it comes with rapid fire accusations, throwing it back at people, right? We can't wait to just be like, no, that's you because you did this, and then be like, well, I did this because you did that, and tit for tat, and it became a battle.
Think about the last time your partner genuinely supported your personal growth. Did they encourage you to step out of your comfort zone? Did they celebrate a raise or a promotion you received at work? If your partner gives you the support you're looking for, your relationship may be healthy and genuine. But if your partner doesn't support your goals or ambitions, your relationship may be more toxic than you realize. Number 3, subtle isolation. Does your partner isolate you from your friends or family? Do they force you to create distance from the people you care about? Many toxic partners will try to control and dominate your life. They want 100% of your time and attention, so they use manipulative tactics to cause rifts in your relationships.
And then you have to go back to them for the supply, and then that's called narcissistic supply. So they need you to want to think that they're a golden god, but they treat you like a peon, right? Like they don't treat you like a co-god. They don't be like, you're a creator too, you're a manifester too, you're as powerful as me. They want to make sure that they're the powerful wizard, that they're the powerful witch, that they are the ones that are the source of light and beacon. And of course that feels good. I'll even be admitting it, of course that feels good, because then you're sitting there going like, yeah, bro, this is dope. I'm helpful, I'm useful, I am powerful, I am what I say that I am because this person says it, as long as I'm their deity. Make me your golden god, make me your golden cow, and I'll be your supply for all the things that you need. I'll be here for you mentally, except for when I'm not. I'll be here for you physically, except for when I'm not. And I'll always be there for you, except when I'm not. And that's the other shoe. The other shoe has to drop. We always get the right foot, but here comes the left foot. And the other left foot is shocking because it is the truth. It's the addiction side of this. It's the, oh shit, now you're my only supply. I wouldn't have just one drug dealer. You're not going to have just one dog. You're not just going to have one partner in your life. And this is going to be a shocker to you. You're going to be able to experience the difference. You're going to experience the difference. You might not be able to respect it or understand it, but you'll be able to experience the difference, especially dating different people, especially bipolar or complex CPTSD or manic or anger issues. I would say I'm on the anger issue.
Example, a toxic partner may dislike the close relationship that you have with your best friend. When your partner sees the two of you together, they may become jealous because they want to possess every bit of your attention. They want to control you, so they may subtly destroy you and twist people's words. They'll force you to choose sides.
Parents were like that, making people choose sides, so toxic, and then fall in and out of favor. The unconditional love was conditional, that you had to follow some kind of conditions to get the attention, and how you would validate yourself, especially for accomplishments. And as you just saw the previous example, they might not even celebrate those. It keeps them being your supply. And I would like to think that I'm encouraging to get your supply from anyone. You know what I mean? Like, I might want you to be my girl and not dance when my friends or go off on motorcycles with other dudes. But you can have a best friend. You can have a mom. You can spend time with them. That's important. It's important that you spend time with these people. The isolationism was self-chosen. There's been a lot of times that I've been isolated, mostly from jail and prison. But just when I felt like I didn't have no friends. And like we were talking about Lily, sometimes you feel like no one loves her. You know what I mean? You talk about ultimate depression, especially when you're traveling the world. You're supposed to feel fucking on a high. That person's not around, or you don't have a person. And she's like, why can't I have love and get fucked at the same time? And I was like, that's apropos, right? Why can't I got the message here. I'll read it accurately, but she made the statements on this phone. My WhatsApp, she made the statement of, why can I be loved and fucked at the same time? Why can't I get banged out by the person that I love the most? And why can't they love me the most? And I felt like that, your common question there, Lily. It's a common misconception that you're alone in this, dude. That's everybody. Why doesn't he love me the way that I love him? Or why doesn't she love me the way that I love her? Or why do they have a different attachment styles? Why is it always jockeying for power, jockeying for position, and trying to have this kind of hierarchy of who needs who more, or who loves each other more, or who's the supply and who's the giver, and who's the receiver, and how come takers don't know when to stop taking and when do they become a giver? All conditional.
Encourage you to argue and spend time apart. A toxic partner wants you and your friend to stop seeing each other, and that way you spend all of your time trapped under your partner's thumb. This toxic pattern affects a surprising number of relationships. From the outside, it's easy to spot, but when you're trapped in this
that's another thing too. Don't be so hard on yourself, because a lot of this stuff your friends and family will see. Just important up from the get-go. If like my mom doesn't like you, obviously I can't date you. If my friends don't approve, it was hard for me, because I was like, nah, you're just only hearing the toxic stuff that I'm telling you because I'm arguing. And they're like, but you're arguing all the time. You're on your phone all the fucking time. Your demeanor changes. And it takes these people to be seeing that stuff from the outside and be like, oh shit, no way, it's affecting me.
Toxic dynamic, it can be difficult to recognize obvious red flags. You may think your partner is trustworthy. You may start to doubt your friends and family. You may feel like you have to pick favorites or choose sides. But a loving partner never damages your other relationships. They want you to have strong connections with your friends and family because they want you to be happy. Instead of telling lies or spilling secrets, a loving partner works hard to connect with the people that you care about. So if someone is important to you, that someone will also be important to them. So don't let a toxic partner disrupt your closest connections. It may feel like your partner's helping or saving you from a bad situation, but the truth is, your toxic partner has a personality. In healthy relationships, partners give each other constructive criticism. You should help your partner identify and improve upon their weaknesses because you want them to grow into a happier, more successful individual. But in a toxic relationship, criticism is rarely ever constructive.
Right.
In fact, many toxic people regularly attack their partner's personalities.
Breaking them down.
For one reason or another, toxic partners want to lower your confidence and self-esteem.
And then I turn into this partner too, right? And I'm like, well, you're doing this. Why are you wearing all black? Why are your fingernails black? Why are you, you know what I mean? Why are you having elective surgery? It's like, it's as soon as it's projected upon me, my ego had to protect itself and start, well, I think this stuff about you. Why you got thick ass eyebrows? I told the German girl that. I'm like, why you're over here being critical about my place, then it makes me the narcissist because I can't take criticism. I always thought if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And how dare you come into someone's home and be like, I don't like the curtains, they don't match the carpet, the drapes don't match. That I would never do. But people are out there. They do have opinions, they do have perspectives, and they will share it. Is it constructive? Maybe. I mean, at the same time, is it projection? Maybe that too. Let me grab this pillow. Start sitting on wood, on these bones after you lose that weight. But I called myself out on it too because it was just like, well, I can see the patterns in you, and you're always doing X, Y, Z. Why are you like this? And then it's like,
they want to insult and belittle you. They want to make you feel weak and small, often because they're struggling with issues of their own. But how do you know if your partner is being helpful or toxic? Criticism from a loving partner is never cruel or accusatory. They don't call you names, exaggerate your flaws, or hurt your feelings. Toxic criticisms, on the other hand, quickly resort to name-calling and exaggeration. A toxic partner wants to hurt your feelings, even if what they're saying isn't fair or true. For example, bring you down.
Right.
They may call you lazy or ungrateful. They may shame you for making a small mistake. In a toxic relationship, every petty issue can evolve into a deeply personal attack. Partners who attack or insult each other rarely have the other person's best interests in mind. If this sounds familiar, you're in a toxic relationship. Stonewalling. Not every toxic trait is loud or insulting. Just because someone isn't yelling at you doesn't mean their behavior is healthy or loving. For example, have you ever had a partner give you the silent treatment?
Yeah.
Or maybe your partner repeatedly ignored your problems or neglected your needs. In both cases, your partner is using a manipulative strategy called stonewalling. Instead of listening to your needs or engaging with you on an emotional level, they withdraw their attention and emotions from the relationship. Now, in some cases, a stonewalling partner will stop talking to you for days or weeks on end. When this happens, you may feel like you've done something wrong. You may feel like it's your responsibility to break down their walls and earn their attention. But that's exactly what your toxic partner wants. Stonewalling is one way that partners subtly control and manipulate your behavior. One moment they give you their full attention, and the next they withdraw into themselves, leaving you wondering what you did wrong. But stonewalling isn't something healthy and loving partners do. Instead, they prioritize open communication and emotional vulnerability. At every stage, they pay attention to each other's feelings and they listen to each other's needs. So don't let your toxic partner shut you down any longer. If this person isn't willing to be vulnerable or communicate openly, your relationship may be more toxic than you realize. Number 6, you're always making compromises so your partner can have what they want. This is a common issue for introverted or unassertive partners. You enter a relationship hoping your partner will understand your limitations, but instead they abuse your personality type to push their own agenda. At every turn, you're the one making sacrifices. You give up your time, your energy, and your resources, but they hardly ever return the favor. When they do, your partner may act like you're a huge burden on their lives. You may feel guilty asking your partner for favors, despite doing favors for your partner all the time. This toxic dynamic around them. But that's not the way a healthy relationship works. You and your partner should both make compromises. Each person should be willing to make sacrifices for the other. In a loving relationship, doing your partner a favor isn't a burden or an inconvenience. It's an opportunity to show that person how much you value their wants and needs. So don't settle for someone who takes advantage of you. If someone isn't willing to give as much as they get, your partner is a toxic person. Number 7, continuous arguments.
Still bringing it
Many
up.
toxic partners cannot control their emotions, especially negative emotions like anger and frustration. For example, your partner may get angry about the smallest, pettiest issues. Even if you apologize, their anger never seems to go away. Every discussion explodes into a long, emotionally exhausting argument. You can take the blame 100 times over, but your partner refuses to forgive or move on. Petty, continuous arguments are a common feature in toxic relationships. One partner desperately wants to make up and move forward, while the other partner is holding a grudge. Sometimes the toxic partner will use guilt as a weapon, lord your mistakes over your head, or make rash generalizations like, "How can I ever trust you again?" When this happens, you may feel like the bad guy. You may feel like it's your fault for hurting them so deeply, but the problem isn't you. You and your partner aren't able to resolve conflicts effectively because your partner does not have a firm grasp on their emotions. Your partner may be experiencing a range of feelings like sadness and shame, but they don't have the emotional intelligence to differentiate between their emotions. Instead of feeling sadness or shame, they only understand anger, so the real problem never gets solved. If constant anger affects your relationship, your partner may not be able to resolve emotional conflicts in a healthy way. They can't see problems clearly, and they can't understand anyone's feelings but their own. So don't let your partner's anger cause you any more unhappiness. If your partner can't control or make sense of their emotions, it's not your responsibility to do it for them. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think and be sure.
Damn, bro. And that was what I lacked, a sense of self-control. It's the only reason I'm dieting so hard right now is to teach myself, especially through fasting, that I do have some self-control over my workouts, over my mentality, over my diet, and exhibit that, and especially in relationships. It was something that I was learning really quick, and I'm like, man, you be disappearing for weeks, days. I don't know what the fuck's going on with you. I'm not cool with that. You know what I mean? I started to exhibit my own boundaries, and that I'm proud of, because I was like, I wasn't just going to get rope-a-dope by a pretty face. Not my only pretty face I've ever seen. I wanted them to treat me pretty as well. And that seems to be a hard thing to get, but damned if I'm not trying to be healthy all the way around. and that includes calling myself out on this shit. I'm about to play the dark sides of Taurus. Let me see. I'm gonna skip ahead. She was talking about somebody cutting the lawn and shit. So yeah.
Gorgeous and just peaceful, right? So Taurus are the type of people, like they are the type of people, they like to be surrounded by beauty. They love things that they can touch and feel. They like picking flowers.
Oh, there's the
Venus, the planet so that has some Taurus dark side traits. They can be very, very sex crazed. Like they can be the type of people, they really love porn. Like they love porn to a point that it can become obsessive, because Scorpio is an obsessive sign and this is their polar opposite. And so when their negative traits comes out, they can be very obsessive when it comes to sex. Say that they'll watch porn a lot because of the simple fact Taurus people are lazy. So they're not good performers, like when it comes to the bedroom and stuff like that, especially when they're on the negative side. They're not the best performers. They're very, very lazy. And they're going to want their partners to do all the work. So I feel like Taurus, they would rather watch it than to do it or perform it because they're extremely lazy. Now, if they can find someone that's energetic or someone that's willing to do all the work, then they'll be up for it. But in all actuality, they're just very lazy. And this is dark-sided traits of a Taurus, okay? Another dark-sided trait for me with Taurus people is they hate to leave a relationship. They hate to be dumped, okay?
Yeah,
it's like they're the type of people, again, like they are possessive in their relationships. A lot of times when they're in a marriage or a partnership or relationship, whatever the case may be, sometimes they're the type of people, they want to possess that person as if they were their possession instead of someone, you know, that they're just bonding with or in a relationship with. So when that person feels like they're tired of their obsessive nature of what they look like, or their obsessive nature over material things, or their manipulative ways, and they want to leave the relationship, Taurus can get extremely violent. They can be extremely abusive, where they will try and trap that person and keep them from leaving the relationship, because first of all, Taurus rules the second house, the house of self-worth. And the thing is, Taurus feels like they're nothing without having a partner, a wife, a husband, or someone in their life. That anything that they have, anything that they gather in their life, it helps them to feel like they are worthy of something. Taurus, when they're displaying their dark side and negative traits, they have very low self-esteem. They have very low self-esteem. Like they do not worthy themselves. They do not value themselves very much unless they have something to show for it. Like they need a partner on them good. That's it. They don't care about anything else, nothing solid, nothing, anything. All they care about is themselves looking good. That's the whole point of a Taurus, and when they're displaying their negative traits. The thing that I've noticed about Taurus negative dark-sided traits is that they can be extremely junky. Like they can be like kind of like nasty, where they can have a lot of clothes, they can have a whole lot of junk. Like they can just be, because they're lazy. First of all, they're extremely lazy. So they're not like big on cleaning up their houses. They're not big on cleaning up their cars. They may want to have a clean house. They may want to have a clean car, but they're too freaking lazy to actually go out there and do it. So a lot of times you can catch them being, their houses being very junky or sometimes nasty to a point that you don't even want to go inside of it. But one thing about the Taurus woman and man is that they're gonna come out of the house looking like $1,000,000. They're gonna look good, okay? The women, Taurus women, they're gonna have their hair laid, okay? Their makeup is gonna be on fleek, and they're gonna be dressed to the gods, okay? Taurus man is gonna be the same. Like his haircut is gonna be, on point. He will even go to the point of getting the spray paint put on so that he can have a perfect haircut, because he's so obsessed with beauty. But when you actually step into their home or into their car, you'll be like, oh my God, really? Really, really, really? They can be extremely junky like that, and these are the dark-sided traits of Taurus. So I don't need you commenting on my video saying, oh, I'm a Taurus and I'm not like that. Okay, this is not about you then, okay? Dark-sided Taurus people, for me, they are ultimate scammers. Scammers! 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 Yeah. Dark-sided Taurus people are scammers. big time. Because when you first meet a Taurus man or a Taurus woman, you're all excited. You know, I have this grounded man, or this grounded woman. They're so earthy. They're so solid. And I know that I can have this with him or her. I can do this with him or her. But in all actuality, Taurus has Gemini on the second house cusp. And a lot of times you're thinking you've gotten yourself this earthy Taurus man or this earthy Taurus woman, and you're like, oh my God, I got this solid chick, or I got this solid man. I'm so excited. Oh my God, I just got the best man ever, or the best woman ever. But in all actuality, you just got a person that is bipolar, sex crazed, porn loving, beauty loving, materialistic person that is lazy as fuck. That's all you just got. That's all you just got. And you're like, oh my God, they're such scammers in that way, because they're going to show you one person when you first meet them, but there's a whole nother person inside of the Taurus man and woman. Like, they can just be that way, like in all actuality, because of that second house cusp with Gemini being there. Yes, they can actually have a whole nother life or a whole nother idea of what they want in their life. A whole nother life going on the opposite side of you guys, okay? That's why I feel like, because they are polar opposite to Scorpio, they can be heaven and they can also be hell. Like, they can show you, they're going to show you heaven when you meet them, and you're going to feel like, wow, I just met, an angel. But then when you get into a relationship with them, they're going to show you hell, because after a while, if they can't control you, possess you how they want to, then they're going to show you hell, okay? And that's how they are. Like, that's the two sides of a Taurus man and Taurus female. The thing about them is, like, they're just so obsessive. Like I said before, please don't touch their food, their children, their men, their women, or anything like that, because they will go crazy, especially the ones that do care. And I feel like a Taurus woman, especially when it comes to her children, she can be very, very abusive and ready to fight if you touch her children. Like, I feel like Taurus woman can be violent, but I feel like she's only going to be violent a lot of times is when she feel like you have pushed her to that point that she just cannot return from, and is usually dealing with possessions, and that's going to be her children, because they have a possessive nature. Their children are their possession, their men are their possession as well. So don't touch their stuff, and then you won't have a problem with a Taurus woman. Taurus men, on the other hand, I feel like Taurus men are horrible parents, especially when they're displaying their dark sided traits. It's like they're the type of guys, like, they only want their children to be around them if they are cute, talented, or smart, or something like that, something that they can show off and, like, somehow build up their self-worth of some sort. But if they're none of those things, then they're just gonna be like, oh, you know what, I'm trying to, like, they'll probably, like, avoid their kid or not put in a lot of time, especially if they're not living in the house with them. And even if they are living in the house with them, they may sometimes just find other things to do rather than really being a good parent to their children. But I've noticed about Taurus men, if they're not living in the household with their children, a lot of times they're not great fathers. They're just like, they'll come around every blue moon or something. It's just like, I just feel like it's so sad. But that's just one of the dark-sided traits of Taurus, and I'm so sorry. And another thing about them with the dark-sided traits is, like, they're so big on wanting things, like materialistic things, or just having things that they can touch and feel in their hand, that they will actually marry into relationship just so they can have material things, because they're all about material things, because the second house rules material gains. So they will marry someone just to have material gains. Like, the Taurus woman, she will want to use her looks to try and, catch a man that can take care of her and just give her everything that she wants, like a car, a house, and stuff like that. They will actually sell their souls to the devil just to gain material things. The Taurus men, they will actually manipulate women who have low self-esteem into being their girls so that they can drive their car or live in their house for free, eat their food, and just not do anything at all, because they're just that type of person, just so they can live in some type of of luxury without having to do very much. They feel like they are so worthy of that to a certain extent, but at the same token, they have very low self-esteem, and that is why they feel like they need to have luxuries so that they can feel like they're somehow established in the world somehow. I feel like Taurus men especially, they are so manipulative in relationships a lot of times because they are so lazy. A lot of times Taurus on the dark side, they don't work. They don't really have jobs. They like want to kind of like freeload off of other people a lot. And when the person gets tired of them freeloading, they're kind of like, they're gonna try to manipulate, be like, oh, I thought you loved me, you don't love me. They're gonna try to use love and beauty. They're gonna try to use love and beauty as a way of getting you to stay on their side, or getting you to reconsider, not putting them out or leaving them. They're gonna use those methods to the gods if they can, to try and save themselves so that they can have whatever it is that they're trying to get. They're very manipulative, they're very obsessive, they're very possessive, and also they're extremely lazy, okay? And that's my take on the dark side of traits of a Taurus.
That's me up front. It's not nice to be on Front Street, to manipulate people, to use my sales techniques, to use my experience with communication, to use my own emotional stability against people. Like, well, you're the one acting crazy. So easy to point the finger and be like, they're a narcissist. So easy to pretend like you're still this angel, when everybody knows you drop the hammer, you Hulk smash, you'll switch up, you'll be the loyalist motherfucker 1 minute and then cheating on them the next, or be the hardest working motherfucker in the room doing my meetings last night, which went off without a hitch, but at the same time be lazy and not do things for like weeks, and be on vacation for a year, or be in Thailand for 6 months, or using this place as a free place to stay because I invested some long time ago and I can't afford another place. I wouldn't be here this long if it wasn't for the rent-free bungalow. $40 a month is cheap rent. I've stayed with a nurse before because not because I was attracted to her, but because I needed a place to stay. That happened once. Usually don't mind being alone. It's just the way it is. Maybe my narcissism's kicked people away, or the people that used to be friends got wore out of me, being maybe the center of attention, or it always being the Mark show, and you get called out on it. That's what this whole thing's about, was to be self-aware and work on these things and try to improve my relationships with people, have more friends, find real love, and to sustain it. And that is today's morning motivation. If you've gotten anything out of this, please like, share, and subscribe below. I think it's addiction, honestly flawed, and upfront about it. And that's my peace, and that's my love, and that's on my heart from the start. So if you got anything out of this message, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, Chi-gathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, subscribe. But the other side of fear, the other side of excuses, the other side of the world. Peace. Ciao. Bella. Beijos. That's the show. Man, that was fucking hard. Whew. Dark triads, man. Dark traits. Mark, you got some work to do. And I'm going to go do that work. Peace.